all of the videos I'm seeing on it are people who are reacting to us. Let's go to Asmon's channel and get to the link from that. There we go. Okay.
Player sues over.
Here we go. Here's the video. Reaction thing doesn't want to go away. I will eventually get rid of the stupid fucking heart thingy. Ooh, look at that. We can press the stupid things. I hate the feature. I really do. But anyway, Elden Ring DLC lawsuit is crazy. The fact that this happened, like, it's one thing, right? It's one thing if people on 4chan are like, haha, wouldn't it be funny if I did this? Haha, wouldn't it be really funny if I made a lawsuit? And then it actually happens. And then it actually fucking happens. Sure.
Player sues over Elden Ring's alleged hidden content. Game's difficulty.
What?
Yes, that's a real sentence that was written, that I just read to you, and that you just heard. And yes, the lawsuit is real.
Incredible animation.
On the 26th of July of 2024, a 4chan thread was created.
Only 2 months remain, starting today. September 25th, 2024 is when Bandai Namco Games enters court for a hearing in my Elden Ring lawsuit that claims we have only played half of From Software's games and a whole new game is hidden inside. And that it's too hard to access for even its most dedicated fans. In less than 2 months, you'll be forced to realize game devs cater to crazy people because they have courage that you don't. To explore the unknown world, you'll be forced to realize hackers have been lying to you, telling you content is cut when it's actually just undiscovered. You know that if it has no way to be accessed, that would be cut content. This is implying that he knows. So it's not even about, like, difficulty of the game. It's the difficulty to find additional content that he claims is not cut content. It's actually just content in the game that you don't know how to access, right? It's like side content that's not actually cut content, but the way you access the side content is too difficult. It's so difficult that nobody knows how to access it. It has nothing to do with boss difficulty. Boss difficulty, I could at least, like, understand the logic there. Like, that sure, whatever. It's stupid, but whatever. This is about content that's in the game, but is, like, in the game files, but it's cut content, and there's no way to access it.
Created by the self-named...
Also, no doxing this thread. Don't get the thread deleted, you fucks. You post about a lawsuit. Lawsuits are public. If you're going to post about a lawsuit on 4chan, you're a fucking idiot because people are going to dox you. Like, that... What are you doing? Yeah. Also, you gave all of the information to go and fucking find it. Yeah, you're going to get doxed on 4chan if you do that.
User Nora Kizaragi, stating that in 2 months an Elden Ring lawsuit would occur as he is suing From Software over allegations of hidden content behind a barrier of impenetrable difficulty. His initial post in the thread reads as follows.
September 25th, 2024 is when Bandai Namco Games enters court for a hearing in my Elden Ring lawsuit that claims we have only played half of From Software's games and a whole new game is hidden inside, and that it's too hard to access for even its most dedicated fans. In less than 2 months, you will be forced to realize game devs cater to crazy people because they have courage that you don't, to explore the unknown world. You will be forced to...
What does that even mean?
Realize hackers have been lying to you, telling you content is cut, when it's actually just...
What would... Like, I want to know what the, like, the five-head logic is. That hackers would be lying to you about content that is cut when it's actually undiscovered. Like, what would the hackers have to gain from pretending like something is not accessible in the game, where they could make a write-up about it and get a lot of people to click their article, or make a video about it and get people to click their article? Like, what is the logic that you would pretend like it doesn't exist, and there would be this mass conspiracy where all of the people modding the game all pretend like this doesn't exist. What would be the value there? Why would anybody do that?
Undiscovered.
No offense, my man, but I think the only crazy one here is you. We are all familiar with cut content, right? It's not a strange practice for game companies to leave unused assets inside the game's files. Many data miners in the community have already showcased lots of these files, with channels like Zully the Witch, for example, being one of the biggest. It's simply content that, for whatever reason, did not make it into the final release of the game. We all remember the infamous Fears undergarment, right? Part of the Deathbed set, Deathbed Smalls, is currently unobtainable.
Like, I forgot cut, there's a reason for it. Yeah, it's because it just didn't get finished. That's why. That's usually why.
In the game. And in the past, having it in your inventory would outright ban you. A Reddit user even made a thread discussing his experience with the item. Someone dropped it for him, and sometime later he got this message on the main menu.
Unauthorized tampering with the game has been detected. We have detected unauthorized tampering with the game from your account. If any unauthorized tampering with the game is detected, a quarantine penalty of 180 days will be imposed. So he picked up this item you're not supposed to have, went online, and got temp banned. That's... tampering with the game, such as legally enhancing parameters, legally acquiring runes, or altering the game's behavior, is a violation of the online service terms of use. If you continue to play the game while tampering with the game, you'll be penalized. What a way to word that. Please make sure the account has not been tampered with in the past.
He got soft banned. After contacting From Software regarding this issue, the team acknowledged that the item was considered modified data, which caused his ban. The item did exist in the game's files, but it was supposed to be inaccessible on purpose, with no in-game way of obtaining it. This is relevant to this case because it proves that cut content is not some super guarded secret. It's just that. Content that didn't make it into the final game for whatever reason, and that can be data mined by people or obtained via illicit methods. This is very important to consider because Nora
This is true for every single video game. Every game has cut content. Like, a good example of this, we were just playing Kingdom Hearts. In Kingdom Hearts 1, they had originally planned to let you go to Disney Castle, and Disney Castle was even shown in some of the beta trailers. That isn't even cut content. No, it is cut content. So what was being detected there is... So the anti-cheat was noticing that a player had an item that was in the game, but shouldn't have been accessible. That was what was tripping up the anti-cheat. But, yeah, Disney Castle was in the game files for Kingdom Hearts 1. Like, not the entire map, but the castle segment and some of the garden segment that ended up just getting used in the second game because it just made more sense to use it there. I think the reason why they cut it out is... the game, it felt like it was just adding additional content for the sake of it and was, like, padding out the story. That's my understanding of it. But, like, every game has this. Every single game, if it's been in development for any length of time by a group of... Usually, especially if it's a big development team, because people have different ideas about, oh, can we do this? Can we do that? And sometimes the files just don't get removed in the final release. Or sometimes they just leave them there as an Easter egg because... it doesn't really matter. You're not supposed to get there. If it was intended that the item was planned to be inaccessible to begin with, it's just to detect people who mod items into their inventories. Yeah, that's what's happening there.
Regarding hidden content.
The insinuation is that game developers have succeeded in hiding the campaign from data miners since the NES, meaning the parallel universe theory is 38 years old. They've kept it a secret for 38 years.
Is this secret campaign in the room with us right now, Nora? Look, it would be understandable to add a couple of secrets here and there for players to discover. This was a normal practice in old games from the PS1 and PS2 era, like hidden bosses in Final Fantasy games and such. But usually this content was accessible by following a trail of quest lines and obvious hints throughout the game.
Usually they're not obvious. Sometimes they're like, hey, you make sure it's the 17th of April and the moon is in this current specific phase, so it has to be this specific year. Like, a lot of the time they're not, like, obvious, but the hints exist in the game. And half the time when a game had secrets back then anyway, they were gonna be in the game guide.
The point of this, aside from passion for craftsmanship, is always money. Let this be a lesson to all of you poggies. When you're looking for the reason behind a corporate decision, the answer will always be money. Have players talk about it, and have other players buy your game.
And if not money directly, then money through some secondary means. Like, oh, people are interested about this, therefore they tell their friends about it, therefore the friends buy it. Things like that. Money is always there somewhere down the line. OG Doom, the walls are sus. Man, the walls are sus in Dark Souls as well, don't worry.
Thanks to this information, make the cost of producing secret extra content profitable, because these things take time and money to produce. Being this the case, I want you to ask yourself, what is the point of inaccessible, huge portions of content?
Jumps 17.5 times on the 347,000th pixel from the starting city at 11:47 a.m. in-game time to get a feather. You sell to Boblin the Goblin to get the secret boss key. Exactly. Yes. There were a lot of games where they were not obvious, but they existed in the game, and there was usually some, like, again, a lot of the time those games had game guides anyway, and it would just be in the game guide. Or there would be, like, a Nintendo Power that they had, like, a partnership with, and they're like, ooh, hey guys, here's this secret thing that nobody else knows about. Just ignore the fact that this is, like, a sponsored segment of the magazine. By the way, really, if you had, but if you had one of the OG Dooms on GOG, you have the other now. Oh, that's cool.
The developers would be wasting precious budget and resources into making pieces of content that almost no one would discover nor talk about for the sake of... what? Useless elitism? If not even data miners...
Well, sometimes a lot of content is in a game doesn't get experienced by players. Like, a good example of this is, like, I imagine a lot of people in Kingdom Hearts haven't beat Yuzora, right? Or haven't beat the data fights, or haven't beat, like, the mushroom questline, things like that. But it's something that is possible in the game. It might not be common. It might be, like, the most elite of the, like, or most dedicated in some cases in, like, other things. Like, the most dedicated of dedicated players. But it's still content that's accessible.
Can find it to spread the rumours and have more people interested in buying their product. Why make it at all? And mind you, lack of proof of its existence does not count as proof of its existence. I know this is just me arguing with a clearly mentally unstable person at this point, but I believe that healthy discussions can be achieved by discussing each point and the reasoning behind them rather than simply dismiss it as the delusions of a madman. But the more you read into it, the more you realise that that's what it basically is.
I'm getting my day in court. How will you cope with the truth? I became insane because it's what Hidetaka...
Well, at least he admits it. I became insane.
Miyazaki wanted in the case of Bloodborne. He wanted the players to break the shackles of humanity in the drain of blood.
What are you saying?
And then he proceeds to quote Miyazaki about Bloodborne lore. If this person can't tell the difference between in-game lore and real life, then you know that you'll most likely be wasting your time by talking to them. However, like I said, you can always address these issues semi-seriously and healthily discuss them as long as you don't also fall into their delusion bubble, which is what the District Court of the Massachusetts State seemed to do. Like I mentioned earlier, the lawsuit is real.
Yeah, how is this even how easy is it to file a lawsuit in Massachusetts? I don't know, because I imagine any sensible judge is going to see this and be like, what? Like, there's no way. There is no way this guy actually gets his day in court, surely. Like, any more than, like, 5 minutes. Surely not.
And it's scheduled for court hearing on the 25th of September. You can look it up yourself if you want, since Nora provided the docket number for it. I believe this...
Which also doxes his name, by the way. Look up if they have anti-slap laws. How the fuck do you spell Massachusetts? Okay, thank you. Thank you, search engine. Yes. Yes, it looks like they do have anti-slap. Yes.
be evidence enough for us to completely disregard the idea of this being a troll post. This man really went all in and wants to sue From Software over a delusion, because even he knows that he doesn't have any evidence for his...
Well, specifically Namco Bandai... Namco Bandai, whatever. Not From Software. That
claims
but like they're the publisher, not the developer. So it's still basically From Software.
Inquired about evidence for his claims. This is what he has to say.
Are you familiar with division by zero? The closer an equation gets to zero, the higher the increase of change becomes, approaching infinity.
What the fuck does that mean? What? What is your evidence of this? Division by zero. What are you... What does that mean?
The closer an equation gets to zero, the higher the increase of change becomes, approaching infinity.
Actually, that's wrong. Division by zero is when you have a rational equation where x is in the denominator and you keep assigning values to x that approach zero. This behavior is called, in this case, vertical asymptote. As x approaches zero...
Okay, what the fuck does that have to do with the evidence, though? I don't care about the math lesson.
From either the positive or negative direction. The value of y increases or decreases without bound, meaning it tends to positive or negative infinity. This is because division by a number very close to zero results in a very large magnitude of y. The limit of the equation is 2 intervals from negative infinity to almost zero, and almost zero to positive infinity. And the funny thing is that, contrary to what he said, the graphical change of the equation gets less and less evident the closer to zero the value gets. Sorry, I had to spurg out.
What was that? I don't know what that has to do with... I still don't know what the division by zero thing has to do with evidence.
In this case, we have a whole bunch of hints that there's another world out. No evidence, but these constant hints game developers keep dropping out. For instance, in the case of Sekiro's art book, teasing that he might be a ninja in the other side of the story. In the case of Bloodborne, we see...
No, like, the game actually calls him... The game actually calls him a ninja. Like, in the game. Like he's referred to as a ninja in the game. Like, he's not a samurai.
Be a ninja in the other side of the story. In the case of Bloodborne, we see German in the fishing hamlet, in a magazine can, things that haven't been found in their respective games. The first answer is, it was cut in development. The real answer is, it's a whole new world.
My man, that's just world building. A thing developers and creators do to expand and enrich their imaginary worlds for their fictional stories. It's not a conspiracy theory about deliberately hidden content, but we're not gonna convince you, are we? You know, the thing...
This guy sees any sort of world building and he's like, wait. So you're telling me this character had a life before the game? So that means I get to play the life before the game, because otherwise, why would you write about it? No.
That caught our attention in the beginning was that we thought the guy was suing FromSoft because of the DLC's difficulty, which turned out to be, about 10% true, perhaps? One can make the argument that the dude thinks the game's too hard and he's making excuses on why he can't uncover perceived hidden content, but we don't think that's really the case. This guy's just a loony.
True. I love that clip so fucking much.
Who knows? Maybe some data miner will discover never seen before new... However, who knows?
Wait, you see it?
Data miner will discover never seen before new secrets in older Souls titles and reveal that all this time this guy was an evil mastermind of sorts. But no, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. At the end of the day, this is just a crazy guy talking crazy shit. Legal experts doubt the lawsuit will succeed, citing the speculative nature of the claims and the challenge of proving consumer deception. At the time of making this goofy video, data miners have not uncovered evidence of a hidden game within Elden Ring or other From Software titles. Additionally, from a legal standpoint, proving that the game's difficulty constitutes deceptive practice...
that reminds me, one of the people I follow on Twitter who is involved in some fun Chromebook stuff, and various other Linux things. They were updating their laptop at the airport, and next to the terminal that was doing the update, they put a giant text document saying, "I am just updating my computer. I am not hacking the airport."
Consumer protection laws will be difficult without substantial evidence, and the plaintiff must demonstrate how this alleged deception has harmed consumers. Good luck with that, bro. But yeah,
good
we
luck.
just wanted to share this batshit crazy story, and we're eager to see how this moves forward after the day of the court hearing. That's
won't.
about it. See ya.
Yeah, I feel like it... Wait. I can't see it because of the stupid fucking YouTube. I assume that says... What is that? Something deleted... Something. I can't see what it's saying! I assume the post was deleted. This is not gonna last long in court. I will be very surprised if it makes it to court, right? Like, very, very, very surprised if it actually makes it to court. If it does, that'll be wild.
I'm absolutely...
Oh, stop. Do you not use Enhancer for YouTube? What is Enhancer? Tell me about this. Explain this to me. I need to know. Enhancer. Enhancer for YouTube. What is this? Improve user experience with customizable features. I've never heard of this before. I will have a look at that. Thank you for letting me know. Add a bunch of extra functions like custom dark theme, hide end cards, add a mini player when scrolling. I see. Yeah, this is not going to go very far. This is not going to go very far whatsoever. At all. Oh, God.